Well, thank you, Bob. And so welcome to everyone. Thank you for taking the time out of the busy day that all of you have to participate this morning. And for those of you who attended this breakfast last year, braving the aftermath of one of our many storms, you probably remember that immediately following it was the Super Bowl victory parade. This year, a very promising start, a heroic effort, but no parade. So, moving on to biotech, so biotech 2015 was really a remarkable year for bringing life-changing medicines to patients. And really, 2016, similarly, is shaping up to be an extraordinarily promising year. In 2015, there were over 45 new drugs, new innovative drugs approved for patients. More than any single year in really over the past decade at least. And it's really notable that 1 in 6 of those was actually either discovered or developed here in Massachusetts. So that just goes to the points that Bob was making about the power of this ecosystem and cluster. So this unprecedented progress really spans also into areas of technology that, for most of my career, and have really been sort of these visions of what's possible with science, and it's turning into tangible results. So started targeting cancer cells with precision medicines that really leave the other tissues unharmed, harnessing our natural immune systems to purge the body of cancer, using gene therapy to, in some cases, actually cure debilitating genetic diseases, and making a small dent, but a dent in that sort of merciless march that Alzheimer's makes once it gets hold of somebody. So all of these things are just a few examples of what's possible. And we're finally succeeding in sort of taking that sort of bounty of scientific, sort of exploding scientific discovery and translating that into medicine. So with all that, what could possibly stand in our way? Well, as you know, research and development is expensive. So you've heard this many times before, but it's incredibly expensive. And typically it takes more than a decade before a product that's conceived makes it to the market. And frequently, and we've been through these experiences, after a decade and hundreds of millions of dollars, you can find yourself with the last trial failing and you end up with nothing. So really the question is, how do we fund this research? How do we reward those who make these risky investments? How do we make the resulting benefits accessible to people, which is the key in the end? And how do we as a society really create that sustainable and affordable engine for medical innovation? So very hard questions. Today we're privileged to have the Attorney General, 2 esteemed panels that will really engage in the discussion around some of these seemingly very complicated and intractable challenges and how they impact the lives of the people of the Commonwealth. One of the most poignant examples, and Bob referenced this before, is this sort of scourge of opioid addiction. But it's juxtaposed to some remarkable progress in terms of medical technologies emerging. But then there's the challenge of how do we get those benefits to the people who truly need them the most. And as we all know, these are complicated problems, and we do need to engage all the stakeholders. It's the innovators, the providers, the insurers, the policymakers, the patient advocates. And so that's really what we're here for today. So rolling up our sleeves and finding these solutions. And it's going to be a lot of work. And with Massachusetts as pretty clearly the epicenter of medical innovation, we have an opportunity to lead the way in establishing that sustainable and affordable model that can be adopted more broadly, capitalizing the promise of science, changing the way diseases are treated, and ultimately dramatically improving the lives of our families and the families in all of the Commonwealth. So at MassBio, as Bob said, that really is our mission. And today we're grateful for you taking the time out of your busy schedules to continue to engage in this critical dialogue. So with that, thank you very much.